ACCUSTATS Video Productions presents from Chesapeake, Virginia, the 19th Annual U.S. Open 9-Ball Championships. I'm Bill Incardona along with Buddy Hall. Buddy, this evening's feature match is between two veteran players. One by the name of Leonardo ANDAM from Manila in the Philippines. His opponent, Nick Varner, from the United States. And Leonardo ANDAM played Francisco Bustamante yesterday in a very important match. And I watched that match. We have it on ACCUSTATS, by the way. He played a flawless match, defeating Bustamante 13 games to 4.
Wow.
If he's given the opportunities tonight and he plays anywhere near the speed that he played yesterday, Varner's got a lot of problems.
Varner's not real used to that. He's used to being the problem.
That's true.
He's subject to be the problem here too.
Yeah. Now Nick has a bigger break than ANDAM, and both you and I know that most opportunities stem from the break. And since 9-ball is a game of opportunities, Varner figured to get more opportunities. And if that holds true, then Varner should prevail in this match. But you know, things that's supposed to happen don't always happen.
Right. Bustamante has a great break.
That's right. Things that are supposed to happen don't always happen.
Right.
So if ANDAM gets the opportunities that he got against Bustamante and does well with them, he'll also send Varner to the loser's side. But Varner's been very obstinate of lately, and he's been playing very well. So I look for a very close and exciting match here.
I like Nicky. He's playing really hard. He's bearing down. He's going to be hard for anybody to beat. He's going to have to break the balls a little better than that.
Well, he did pocket the ball in the break. Now, this is the third round action, I do believe. Varner has already played 2 rounds.
Third or fourth?
Well, this may be fourth round action, but he must have gotten one bye. He's already played 2 matches. Both of those matches were extremely close, especially the latter one. He won 13-12 against Luke Salvis. The match before that, he won 13-11. So he's been tested. He's prevailed in close matches. I don't know why they were close. Maybe his opponents played extremely well. Who knows? But he has been in some close matches.
He got a little high. He got a little low on this ball. Ideally here it would have been straight in on the 3, where he could just roll forward and play the 4 over here. Now he has to go up and come back, and he has to duck the 6 and 7.
Yeah, he's got to thread the needle both through the 6 and 7, and then be in between the 7 and 8 on the way back.
Well, if the 4 passes that way.
Okay, he tried to go between the 6, 7, but obviously it didn't work, and one of the interfering balls came into play here. So right away, Nick's confronted with a problem. If the 4 passes the 5 into the lower left-hand corner, I suspect that's what he'll probably try to do. He'll probably try to cut it into the lower left-hand corner. In the event that he misses it, possibly he may find a space underneath the 9 or the 5. So therefore, he may have a built-in safety with this shot. What do you think?
Well, really the built-in part of it is, yeah, he can use the 6 is really a big ball up there if he wanted to try to get behind the 6.
But he's going to go after the shot here.
Right, he's going for the juggler. See, that's awfully, that's really a dangerous shot. Of course, you know, Nicky's he's shooting.
Well, he felt confident with the shot, and obviously that's why he chose to shoot it. Overcutting it, hit the 5, and he's left ANDAM a very good opportunity in game number 1. Brushing the 5, something that he didn't want to do, but still the shot's very workable.
He's playing a straight back and out, I guess. He wants to get straight in on the 6.
Leonardo ANDAM, like all the other Philippine players, he's a real technician at the table, but yet he hasn't really done well in tournament play here in the United States.
He's a good player, though. He's, when they first come over here, I think Efren is the only one that really, when he first got here, just won his first tournament. These other guys have seemed like it's taken them a while to really break the ice.
ANDAM, 32, I believe 32 years old, but Manila wins the first game of the match, taking the early 1-0 lead.
See, I think Nicky was set a pace that would be kind of hard for ANDAM. You know, just to see how he weathers that. Nicky's the type of guy, if he can, you know, we've went over this before, if he can get you playing to his rhythm, he's really hard to beat.
Well, he's a very deliberate player, but I think ANDAM is a little deliberate himself. And he seems very composed at the table each and every time I've watched him play, pocketing now 4 balls on the break, but obviously, look, he hasn't come up with a shot. When you pocket 4 balls on the break, you're really ill-fated if you don't come up with a shot.
Did you see how easy he hit those balls?
Yeah, you know something, there's a lot to say about that on certain equipment. Now, he faced Bustamante, who is obviously a much bigger breaker than ANDAM, but yet ANDAM seemed to have been pocketing more balls on the break than Bustamante. So I think you hit on something there when you said, did you see how easy he hit those balls and the results that he got? I think maybe, just maybe, if you take something off the break, possibly you may get more action on this equipment.
Maybe. I would shoot at this if you put a pistol on me.
Well, you know, there's a good possibility that he can position the cue ball behind the 7.
He's going to play the ball if he shoots. If he shoots, he'll play the 2. It goes by.
He does. Well, from my vantage point, I really can't tell.
Oh, look at this. He feathered it. He thinned it.
Well, he thinned it probably a little more than he wanted to.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
As he walks away from the table, realizing, I'm glad that's over, you know.
Yeah, I know I would not.
Great results.
I wouldn't have liked trying to make that ball is what I was talking about when I said I would shoot at it. But, you know, the safety, different story.
Well, that was a beautifully executed shot. He
Yes, it
just
was.
soft rolled the cue ball toward the direction of the 2, hitting the 2 very thinly, positioning the cue ball behind the 7. Really a wonderfully executed shot by Leonardo ANDAM. And that's where his snooker ability came into play, Buddy. And in the Asian Games, I was told that he was a gold medalist in the Asian Games in snooker. And that's a little snooker play right there he put on Varner.
Nicky was looking to see if the 2 passed. He was looking to see if the 2 passed this way.
Well, he's hooked behind the 7 if he kicks that good.
Yeah. He's going across top of it. Makes that side pocket awful big.
Yeah.
Well, he played it nice, though. He'd come all the way down with it. That's a nice shot.
It certainly is.
That's a nice shot.
He's left ANDAM a very thin cut in the upper right-hand corner. If he's able to cut the 2 in, chances are the cue ball is going to go in the direction of the 4, and you might see some contact there. Little action, and he hit the 2 ball very nicely. Now he's really playing the same form, back to the same form that he was in last night against Bustamante. Very calm, very accurate with the shot making. Just has that beautiful touch, that soft roll, which he displayed when he played safe off the 2, putting Nicky behind the 7. So he certainly looked like he's prepared to play tonight's match against Varner.
He hit that a little short, but he's okay. He would like to have hit it just a little harder.
Game number 2 goes to Leonardo ANDAM, now lead in the match by the score of 2 games to 0. Well, we'll take a look at his break once again. The velocity that he puts into it isn't nearly as much as Varner or Bustamante puts into their breaks, but yet he gets good action.
Right, he's hitting them really square. In fact, he's coming across the one just a little bit, but he's not hitting them that hard.
Well, he's made the corner ball, so therefore he has remedied the trick on making the corner ball. He's made the corner ball now twice, 2 consecutive times. But this time he hasn't come. Well, the last time he broke the ball was pocketing 4 balls on the brick. He didn't come up with a shot. And the same now, pocketing 1 ball on the brick. Hasn't come up with a shot, so he has to push again. Now he looks like he's going to push to a position over here where he'll allow the incoming player Varner to see just a portion of the 1 ball, but not enough of it to pocket it.
Yeah, but Nicky just played this behind the 5.
Okay, now there's a problem with this, possibly, buddy. It may be a kiss, but it doesn't appear that it looks like a kiss to me from my angle. But it may be a kiss. If he hits it very thinly, he could kiss it.
Yeah, but he's coming away from the ball, really. He don't want to hit it that thin. In fact, he may not even take this shot because it's so tough to stay down here. The only ball that he can actually hook him behind is the 5.
Okay, from my vantage point, he can see the 1 ball. He can see a considerable amount of it.
You can't believe what he's thinking about doing right
Yeah,
here.
but yet he's looking to go rail first.
He's looking to kick the ball in.
Positioning the cue ball behind the 5. And he's, or else he's looking to go rail first to kick it in. If he doesn't kick it in, he'll position the cue ball behind the 5.
He's got a lot of nerve. I mean, he's really gunning right now. I wouldn't shoot at this for no amount of money. Well, maybe a little bit of money, but...
Well, he practices shots like this all the time. He's very meticulous when he practices. Now, he fell short of the kick, and now he's going to see if he can position the cue ball behind the 5. I think he's fallen a little short of that also. Had he hit the 1 a little thinner, he probably would have pocketed the 1, or even possibly positioned the cue ball behind the 5. Once again, that soft touch, and once again executed perfectly.
Yeah, he's left Nicky a good solid kick at it, though. He can go ahead and hit this with a little speed. Now, he's thinking about the 2-railer. Well, he looked at the 2-railer. I don't guess he's thinking about it. I guess he just checked that option.
Well, it looks like he's going back to it, the way he's addressing the table, but he hasn't gotten down on the shot yet. So therefore, he really hasn't made up his mind, you know, what he's going to do. Very deliberate player, and that's one of the main reasons why he's the player that he is because he's very deliberate. He's not going to do anything until he decides exactly what he really wants to do.
Yeah.
And then he's going to get down and he's going to be prepared to do it.
Right.
And then he shot the shot that you suggested he shoot, the kick, and successfully hitting the 1. But it looks like the cue ball found the spot where he hasn't left an offensive shot, but I can't see the angle that he has.
He'll play this 1 reel up by the 3, it looks like.
But once again, very
softly. He may have left a dead 9.
The 2 may be in the way there. But maybe it isn't. From our vantage point, once again, we can't tell. Next, looking to see if the kiss off the 9 is available to pocket the 1 in the upper corner. I don't think it is. Looks like it's going to go toward the long cushion.
Bustamani's getting a little taste of Greg Fix.
Aren't you going to share that with us? I mean, you're laughing and giggling, and I'm, you know.
Yeah, Greg took him 10 minutes to get to the 9, then he played safe on it.
Bustamante hit it very poorly. And back to the action here, the feature match. Varner once again kicking. Varner's done a lot of kicking in the early going. Now he's left Bustamante a very long shot, and the 7 ball is going to hamper his bridge hand somewhat, and maybe even diminish the accuracy somewhat, because he's going to have to elevate a little bit here, buddy. This is a pretty good tester here because the lower right-hand corner pocket's not available for position.
He hit it nice.
He's hitting it. He's hitting all his shots very nicely. He's looking at the corner pocket. Perhaps he may have a half a pocket to pocket the 2. Well, this is really remarkable. I don't know how many times Varner's come to the table this match, But all I remember is him coming to the table and having to kick.
Yeah.
This is at least the 4th time that he's come to the table having to kick.
One thing I wouldn't do, I would make sure that I don't do is move the 5-9. I'd make sure that no matter what I'd done, there was no chance of doing that. A two-rail kick. I don't see anything else.
I think he's fairly safe in the regards of not moving the 5 or the 9, because he's not going to be kicking in that direction. He's going to try to do something with the 4. He's going to eliminate the 4 from that area so he can't bust up in the 5-9.
Kicked it in. That's good thinking. It's good thinking. He's gonna try to beat him on 3 fouls now.
Why doesn't he try to break free the 5 from the 9 on this shot? Because the 3 is right there for position. If you can figure out a route, a relatively safe route to possibly break loose the 5 from the 9.
Well, see, this is what I think he's going to do. He's going to bank the 2 up by the 5 and the 9 and stick him against the 6. So he'll have an automatic 3rd foul option.
Or he'll have an option either to get him on 3 fouls or break open the 5 and 9 and run out.
Right. See, here,
much better shot.
If Nicky doesn't hit this, it's going to be a 3-foul game.
3-foul game, or obviously an easy breakout, and which would result in a win that way.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably what he'll do, is just shoot the 2 in, break the 5 and 9 out.
So Nicky really must feel like a mule right now. This is the 5th time that he's been at the table, to the best of my recollection, and he's had to kick.
Yeah. Nicky's thinking about just blasting into him.
No, he's thinking where to kick. That's where he's. That's what he's doing. But with the cue ball position solidly over the 6 ball, it's going to be an extremely difficult kick. He's better off going to 2 rails towards the 2 in this fashion. Hitting before the 7 and going 2 rails toward the 2. I think it's.
He's going to go 1 rail.
I don't like going 1 rail. He's got to go over the ball and apply English, which obviously might not even take. And he wasn't able to do it.
You hit the 5.
Well, you got to go for the run out here, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is like automatic here. 2, 3, 5. The only task from this point on is position on the 6. If you can get straight in on the 6, then you're out.
Yeah, well, he could shoot the 2 over by the 9 and stick him against the back of the 3. He got no rail to kick at. Have no rail to kick at. It would be an automatic 3-fouler.
You would never do that with this layout.
So far, Andam has completely controlled the game.
Yeah, he certainly has. Very adept in controlling the cue ball in regards to snookering his opponent. He's proven that several times already in this match. And he's also proven that he's very relaxed at the table and doing everything effortlessly. Game number 3 goes to Andam, leading in the match now by the score of 3-0. Well, quite frankly, there really isn't much Varner could have done about what has transpired here in the first 3 games.
Yeah.
He's been in his chair, and the only time he's been out of his chair is to kick or to try to tie something up or eliminate a possible offensive opportunity for his opponent, like kicking the 4 away, which that didn't work either.
Yeah, all right.
Now, once again, he was able to pocket balls on the break, and once again, he's come up without a shot. So in that regard, Varner seems to be quite fortunate.
Well,
but yet he still trails 3-0.
He's facing a push-out every time.
And that's very unusual that the player that has a 3-0 lead had to push out each time. When you push out, you're at a disadvantage.
Yeah. You give a top player the option, it's really, that's pretty tough. But he pushes out to where he knows that Nick's going to shoot at something. So he just puts him to the most difficult spot that he can put him in.
Yeah, well, that time for sure he did. Now, this is definitely either, there's no safety here.
Yeah, the two-railer. 2 rails with a 2, maybe. 1 rail under the 6, back over under the 9. There's no bargain here at all.
No, but he's forcing Nicky to do something, and I think this is a very good strategy. Nicky's very cold, you know, he hasn't really shot anything offensively, where ANDAM has been at the table and is in fairly good stroke. If Nicky chooses to take the shot and goes for the offensive shot, chances are he's probably not going to do well with it because he's cold, and he's trailing 3-0. Yeah, but yet, if he gives it to ANDAM feels good. He's got a high confidence level right now. He's in stroke, and he figures to do well with it.
I don't care. I'd give it to him anyway, wouldn't you?
Well, I really can't tell because, you know, this particular angle is a tough one to depict if you're not at the table.
Oh, if he can shoot this at the corner, then he's got to shoot. Ah, wow, yeah. I didn't know he had that. I mean, he just pushed him out straight in.
Well, he pushed him out to where it was a fairly difficult shot, and he still had to control the cue ball somewhat to come up with a shot on the 3. He did both very nicely. He has come up with a shot on the 3. The next ball was the 5 near the bottom cushion.
If the 3's off the rail a little bit, this is tough. He's got to swing it out instead of come down this side.
Okay, that's exactly what he's done. He swung it out. The direction looks
He's okay.
okay. And he's gotten a little further down underneath the 5 than he wanted, but it's still workable.
Yeah, he's got to jack up a little bit. It's kind of a pinch draw, this. I don't know. Sometimes I like going all the way to the end.
I kind of like that, too. If you go all the way to the end, you kind of increase the accuracy of the shot somewhat, opposed to just trying to finesse it in. And
he's going with a high ball.
He's going with a high ball. He's going to bypass the 6 with a high ball if I see the angle correctly. I was going 2 cushions. Which is better than going to the end because he increases his accuracy even more so because he didn't have to elevate.
Right.
See, so you just have to be at the table sometimes to feel the angle that's available.
Could I have 2 sugars, please?
This is a very important game for Nicky. He really can't afford to fall behind 4-0. Especially when he's had a good opportunity like this one. This is a very crucial shot. Still has some work left here. He's gotten on the wrong side of the 7. He'll probably go 1 rail across, playing position for the 7 and the 8 in the same pocket. It looks like he's finally got himself in pretty good line here. He's got a little bit of an angle, and that's what he wanted. That way he won't go directly toward the 9. He'll go to the right of the 9 somewhat.
Perfect. Played that rack.
It's beautiful.
Pretty nice,
yeah.
Considering he hadn't had a shot the whole set.
Well, the first shot was a big shot, you know, coming off out of the chair, trailing 3-0.
He hit it like it was a head 3-0, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a lot of work to do in that particular rack, coming off the chair, trailing 3-0. He was cold. He hadn't really had an offensive shot. And, well, he's proven he's really come to play, that's for sure. After game number 4, Varner trails in the match by 2 games, 1 game to 3. And on the adjacent table, in a match between Johnny Archer and Junior Harris, that match is all knotted up at 3 games apiece. Archer was defeated yesterday by the name of a fellow called Tony Robles from New York, and he's a very strong player, very strong player from the New York area. And he'll be playing in the next feature match against a fellow from Hawaii by the name of Rodney Morris, who is doing quite well not only on the tour, but on the road too.
That's who plays next round?
Morris and Robles. It's going to be a very interesting match. We're going to have it here on ACCUSTATS for those of you who have an interest in that match. So ask Pat Fleming about the Morris-Robles match. In the meantime, Varner was able to pocket the 1, has come up with a nice shot, hit it with the speed to pocket both the 2 and the 3, playing position for the 4. This is a very routine rack with the exception of the 7 and the 9. If you notice, the 9 is blocking the pocket. The 7 will not pass the 9 into the corner pocket. So he's going to have to settle for the combination 7-9.
I need one more sugar. That's a big coffee.
If he's got too thin on the 5 here, Buddy, then he has a problem. He needs to hit enough of the 5 not to leave the side cushion far. He's going to be using a little bit of reverse English here to keep the angle that he needs for the 6.
Oh,
well, he really put a nice stroke into that ball. And he hit it with a nice follow after the ball left the side cushion. It came back again, and then it straightened out and went straight down the table.
Right, he hit it very gorgeous shot.
Yeah, pretty classy shot.
This is really a tough shot here. You have to land perfect here. When you're playing on pockets this size here, you need to be dead straight on the 7-9 combo. I mean, dead straight on it. Anything other than that, you are strictly, well, you're guessing.
And he would like to get close to the 7 if at all possible.
Right. Boy, that's a beautiful shot. He hit that great.
Very nicely done. And if he could have placed it with his hand, he probably would have placed it maybe an inch or so down further. But
a couple
to
more
leave,
inches.
yeah, to leave this is really ideal. Game number 5 goes to Varner, who now trails by 1 game in the match, 2 games to 3.
I like my, you know, this is just a figure of speech, but I really like my money on a man that can set the pace. You know?
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I like to have my money on the man that can control the match, too.
Well, I'm talking about just set the pace. I don't know if ANDAM can set the pace playing Nick. I know Nick can set the pace playing ANDAM.
I know that Nick is getting good action off the break, pocketing the corner ball and one other. And he has come up with a shot. He would probably play the one in the upper left-hand corner pocket, considering that's the pocket that'll give him the best results for position. Notice the 2 ball resting on the upper rail near the upper left-hand corner.
He has multiple shots here. Well, I say multiple. He has two shots. He can play whichever pocket is the easiest to pocket the one in. That's the way he'll go here because he's got a good cue ball either direction.
Okay, I thought the 5 may have possibly been an interfering ball. If not, then he has the option of either pocket.
Yeah, I think he can go under the 5. I think he can go under the 5 and back out for the 2.
And you were right. He could go under the 5 like he has proven.
There, he just wanted to make sure he played the ball in the easiest pocket to make the ball in.
Well, as long as the 5 wasn't going to be interfering with the position on the shot, you know, it was clearly cut that the upper right-hand corner was the better pocket. Now the balls are laying very nicely on the table. Position on the 4 is probably the crucial shot for the remainder of the rack.
Nice shot.
Leo.
He could have been down a little farther. He would like to have dropped down a little farther on that ball. I think he may have to play 2 rail position here. Yep.
No, I think he can just roll it in. He's almost straight in. This R angle is very deceiving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Leonardo in his chair, realizing that he has done absolutely nothing wrong. The last time he was at the table, he pushed out after the break, leaving Nicky the long shot on the 2. And at that time, the score was 3-0 in favor of ANDAM. If Varner's able to run the 3 remaining balls on the table, this match will be knotted up at 3 apiece. ANDAM will be mystified and saying, what the heck happened here?
He really done one thing wrong. He pushed Nicky out to a shot that Nick could actually shoot and play position off of when he was ahead 3-0. And the result of that is it's tied up.
Well, he could have possibly done that wrong, but I really can't find any fault in what he did there. Because I saw the merit in the push. You know, Nicky's been cold. He's behind 3-0. If he misses that, put a lot of pressure on him. If he misses that, he may have been well out of the match. But
as it is, he run 3 racks off of it.
Exactly. he didn't miss it, and he's proven now that he has come to play after game number 6 match is all knotted up with 3 games apiece.
ANDAM doesn't show much emotion.
No, he doesn't. He's a very composed player from Manila. I like his demeanor at the table. Obviously, Buddy does too. He's a fine, fine player like the other Philippine players. Varner, one of the United States' best players.
I think he's leading in tour points this year.
Nick right now is currently ranked number 1. Even though he was seated number 2 in the rankings, he's number 1.
I think he's hitting them too hard.
Too hard was right, but fortunately for Nick, he was able to pocket a ball, but then he got unlucky because the 4 ball came in between the 1 ball and the cue ball. Now he's the player at the table with no shot. He has to push.
Archer has his hands full with Harris, Davenport and Dick Lane. A lot of good matches. Bustamante and Fix, Vanover and Kennedy, Polo and Hopkins, Howard and George Michaels. Good evenly matched. A lot of evenly matched matches.
And ANDAM and Varner. Another evenly matched match, at least by the score, up to this point.
Yeah. My brother Woody done a commentary with you today.
WW?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and when we were doing the commentary, Matlock jumped off the table on the break. He said, $1 for the jukebox. $1 for the jukebox. For those of you who don't understand that, there's a lot of billiard rooms, particularly in the South, where if the player at the table jumps off the table on the break, he's got to put $1 in the jukebox.
Yeah.
That's like a penalty for jumping the table.
Yeah.
You jump the table enough times and you get broke.
Yeah. $1 for the jukebox. You guys had a good time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Did Varner push to this position and ANDAM passed it back to Varner? Is that what happened here?
I think he shot to there. I think he played safe. He knocked the 1 up table or something.
No, he was hooked behind the 4, remember? He was hooked behind the 4 off the break.
Okay, then Nicky pushed it there.
He pushed it here, yeah.
ANDAM gave it back.
Oh, ANDAM played safe.
Yeah. See, Billy, listen
I know,
to me.
I'm never going to be right with you.
To me,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just don't let it
never happen again.
All right.
This game.
He'll kick this one rail across right toward the 9, hoping it may get behind the 2-5. Oh, unless he can play it straight in. He had a shot there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a very interesting situation here that ANDAM's confronted with. I don't really know. I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do here.
Well, if it was froze, I would shoot at it.
I think you have to shoot at it anyways.
It's just as good to shoot at it as just try to play duck. Try to duck.
Okay, he banked it into the, which really wasn't a bad shot because he's gotten good results with it.
Got excellent results with it.
Yeah, he noticed that there were a couple possible interfering balls at this end of the table, that the one may find a place behind those balls, which it did. The only other shot that I could see was to try to cut it in, because even if you happen to miss the shot, which you figured to, you don't have to leave a shot.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I kind of like. I believe he can hit the rail and hit the outside of the 1 here. The rail right beside the 1.
And spin away, but the 8 ball's over there.
I know, but you have to use right-hand English with the shot. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what would that do off the bottom cushions?
It'll take the cue ball up toward the upper right-hand corner pocket.
Pretty risky and difficult shot.
Yeah, but he can hit the ball like that, and he has a chance to knock it behind the 5-9. It looks like.
Yeah, we're guessing because from our vantage point, we're not sure whether he can do that or not.
Right.
And if he can do that, I don't know if he even knows the shot, because the shot you just described seems to be a very, very difficult well-hidden shot. Only a select few may know.
Do you see the shot?
I see the shot after you described it. But even after you described it, I really can't envision actually executing the shot because it seems so difficult.
Well, you gotta hit it. This is good. If he could have come underneath the ball.
If the one ball was frozen, that is a foul. But obviously, it wasn't frozen because I don't believe John Develou, the referee, called a foul on him.
Right. Reed has became the ear man. Nicky searched him out an ear man. He's elected Jimmy Reed.
Now that's a nice shot. He played position for the 2 in the side. In doing that, he can break loose the 6 and 4 from one another. But if he doesn't have the angle to do that, he'll just pocket the 2 in the upper corner and then pocket the 3 in the lower corner, playing position for the 4 in the side. He doesn't want to choose that route because of the position of the 5. He would like to break loose the 4 from the 6 if at all possible. You agree with that?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, he has really he has a nice shot here. Even if he doesn't have that option, he can pull it. He can just stop the cue ball right there. Okay, now he can play the 4 in the side, just drawing it back. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but that's difficult, you know, because he only has the one pocket. He may even go up for the combination 4-6 here.
Nah. You're right again, Billy.
I told you I wasn't going to be wrong anymore this round, didn't I? That's the first time in 72 tapes with you that I was right. Oh, it looked like he was going to get that ball when he hit it, but that's not what happened.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. Now, Nicky steps to the table. Match is not up 3 games apiece, and he's the one that has a chance for the first time in the match to go ahead.
My
goodness. My,
goodness.
why did he do that?
My goodness.
I don't understand that. That's beyond me, unless he thought he may have a problem going from the 4 to the 5 once the 4 settled in front of the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And very precipitously shooting the shot without any hesitation.
Yeah. You know what he was trying to do? I know what he was trying to do. Now he thought he had a chance to make them both.
Oh, from that angle?
Yeah, he thought both balls might go in.
Oh, wow. That's really wishful thinking. Well, if he brushes the 8, he's in trouble, and he's done that, and he's found the cue ball in the bottom of the right-hand lower corner pocket.
Now, he played a very risky rack there.
I really don't agree with the way he chose to run out in that particular rack by shooting the 4 so hard into the 6. I myself would have rolled the 6-4 ball softly into the 6. And kind of really curious why he attempted that shot in that fashion. This is game number 7. ANDAM once again will have the lead, 4 games to 3.
ANDAM gave it to him, he gave it back.
I don't believe it's often that Varner finds an airman because he seems to like to stay in control of himself when he's playing a match and and keep that strong concentration that he usually goes into matches with. Therefore, he really doesn't seek out airmen that often.
Yeah. Well, he is.
ANDAM breaking the balls, and every time he's broken the balls, I do believe he has pocketed at least 1 ball on the break. But this time he's come up with a shot.
That could have been a giant error that Nicky made there.
Absolutely. He does have a shot, and it looks like he's going to end up with another shot after pocketing the combination. Take a look at the way the balls are lying on the table, buddy.
That's a hanger.
3 to the 5 seems to be the only really problem, if you can call it that.
If he gets straight in on the 2, it could be a problem. Oh, he was fine.
It looks like he's a little clumsy with the angle unless the bottom left corner is available.
Yeah.
If the bottom left pocket's available, then the angle's okay.
You can't make mistakes like that. Playing a good player, it'll get you every time. Archer's having difficulty with Harris. Harris is leading him 7 games to 5, and Archer just hooked his stuff. So, not looking good for Johnny. Actually, one of the favorites to win the tournament coming in.
Game number 8 goes to ANDAM, who now leads in the match by 2 games, 5 games to 3. There's a young man that's in attendance here tonight. He's about, I'd say 15 years old. He borrowed a quarter off me yesterday, a 25-cent piece, a quarter. He said, I'll pay it back to you. I said, okay. Well, I saw him a couple times since then, and he didn't pay me the quarter back, right? So I said to him, you owe me a quarter. He looked at me, he says, oh yeah, that's right. I said, I don't have any change. I said, that's okay. I said, I charge interest. I said, do you have $1? And he says, no, I don't have $1 either. He said, but I'll bet you a quarter on a match. And I said, oh, you want to bet a quarter on a match? I said, go ahead, take any player you want on the floor. He looked around, he saw Archer was playing Junior Harris. He said, I bet you a quarter on Archer. I said, okay. Archer's trailing 5 games to 8. What do you think my chances are getting 50 cents from him if he happens to lose, Archer?
I don't know. You couldn't get the quarter. Here's a shot that gets kicked in an awful lot. Just, I played this ball at a pace to take the cue ball back to the other end of the table, because the angle that you come off, you go right between the 9-6 to the side rail, about where the chalk's at, right to the end. You go ahead and play the cue ball to there. You drop underneath it, this can happen. You go above it, you're okay. About the worst thing that could happen is you make it and miss the 2.
Exactly. Boy, I like to have that happen and I can make it, but not miss the 2 though. It looks like he's going to bank it here. Would you bank it, pulling the cue ball over for a position on the 2 here?
Maybe I would. Maybe I would. I think he's going to try to duck behind the 8.
It looked like that he was going to do something just like that, because the angle that he had didn't appear to me that he could get the cue ball behind the 8. It looked like it naturally would go to the area that it ended up in. He has left Nick a shot on the 1.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't believe the 1 passes.
Well, you got great eyes, and I know that Dr. Miles just put your contacts in front of me a little while ago.
Yeah, he done a good job.
He did? No scars or anything?
No stars.
No scratches or scars?
None. I can actually read the name tags.
Oh, you mean the name tags with the 8-inch lettering?
Right.
Well, let's find out how good your eyes actually really are. I mean, if he can not pocket the 1, I'd really be surprised. But of course, it's hard to argue with you. I haven't really had good results in the past.
He has no choice here. He has to play the 1 just like he was going to play it straight in. Exactly like he was going to play the 1 straight in. Hitting the cue ball at a speed to come all the way back to the end rail. That's his only option. He has no other option.
And then the 1 will go cross table and end up somewhere around the nameplate.
To the center of the table. The 5 may even block the 1, you know what I mean? He needs to shoot right at the 9 ball with the cue ball here. At the 9 ball, not the 6.
Yeah, well, he hit it rather thickly, and I think that's the reason why he got so much movement from the 5 and also the 1.
Yeah.
And the cue ball took that angle that it did because he hit it thickly.
Right.
If he would have hit it a little more thinner.
That was the same shot that I described on it. He hit it thick. He's going to have a problem with this next one.
Yes,
That's
he
the
is.
cue ball.
Yes, he is. Matter of fact, he really has a problem here. He's cut off the left cushion, I do believe. Now he's really got a problem here, buddy. If he's cut off the cushion on the left to go 1 cushion into the 1, he's got problems. He's going to have to elevate and go around the 6.
He could go 1 rail under the 9. He could go 1 rail under the 9. Or he could go reverse English before the 2.
1 rail under the 9? I don't see that angle. I don't see that shot.
He can shoot straight underneath the 9 to the side rail, 1 rail across.
1 rail on top of the 9.
No, underneath the 9.
Oh, really?
Underneath the 9.
Wow, that seems like it's very difficult to me.
Well, it is, but it's a shot. Or he can use a reverse cue ball shot here. Shoot above the side pocket with reverse English, hitting the side rail in, rail back into the 2.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
a couple options to hit it. This, I don't like it. He's got to really draw his ball.
I think that this
here.
was the only option that he had.
He's got to draw his ball here. Boy, he hit it nice.
He hit it and he hung it up. He hung it up. But he certainly made a great hit in hitting the 1. Really didn't get rewarded for his effort in that regard. But
all of this has happened from the error at 3-3.
Exactly, you know, and it has proven to be quite costly for Varner. Opting to hit the 4 into the 6 hard instead of rolling it into the 6 and then playing from that position.
Right.
In the meantime, Junior Harris is continuing his assault on Archer, leading 9-5 at the table, shooting an easy shot on the 9, which would put him ahead 10-5. Junior Harris has a lot of support here. I believe Junior lives in the Baltimore, Washington area, which is relatively close to the Chesapeake area here in Norfolk.
I believe this is a money match, too. I believe this round is a money match on the loser side.
ANDAM at the table looking to regain that 3-game advantage he once had until Varner tied it up, only to see Varner blunder in game number 7, which he has not returned to the table since. Oh, he's returned to the table with nothing to shoot at. Since then, ANDAM has had complete control of the match. And there's so much to be said about control of the match. Even though you may not have an offensive shot off of the break, or maybe even though you may not have a simple run out, balls could be tied up. It's such an important thing to have control. Get to that problem area and then play a safety and just stay in control of the match. And that seems to be what ANDAM's been doing this match. You know, he's been playing extremely smart. He's been controlling the cue ball very nicely, particularly with his snookers. You know, when he has an opportunity to play a good snooker on Varner, he does it. After game number 9, ANDAM leads in a match by 3 games, 6-3. Corner ball once again, and the 1 in the side.
He's hitting those balls awfully
He
soft.
needs the 2 to drop also. The 2 did drop because the next ball will be, in order, will be the 4, which is slightly to the right of the foot spot, and he does have a shot on the 4. The 5 by the 8 at the other end of the table, perhaps there's room past the 8 to pocket the 5 in the upper right-hand corner, buddy.
That just tells me, and should tell everybody, that playing a top player, you can't get careless. You get careless, it costs you.
Okay, this is actually one of the first mistakes, or one of the only mistakes, I believe, or the only mistake that I've seen him make, with the exception of the rollout.
The rollout and missing the 4 is the only 2 errors that he's made, and the score shows it. Junior Harris is giving Johnny fits. That's perfect. All they got to do is knock the 7 in.
Harris is leading Archer 11 games to 5. And it looks like Archer may make one of those very uncommon early exits from a tournament. It's not often that he exits tournaments early.
This would be the first tournament I've seen him not get into money. That's shallow.
Well, he certainly came out of that corner awfully deep.
That's shallow.
It is, and this ball is very missable.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Greg Fix has got boost of money, 5-3. Kim Davenport and Dick Lane are all knotted up at 4 games apiece.
And Nick Varner finally does finish the rack off.
He smooth stroked it.
Oh, making a half difficult shot on the 9 to come within 2 games of the lead, 4 games to 6. On the adjacent table, Harris is leading Archer 11 games to 5. Archer does have a shot on the 1 ball. He's at the table. Varner pocketing a ball on the break. 2 balls on the break. Ending up with a very nice shot on the 1. The 2 ball is in the pocket. The 3 will be the next ball, which is positioned in the center of the table. 4 ball positioned to the right of the foot spot on top of the 9. 5 positioned near the bottom cushion.
Well, these guys are taking turners. One wins 3 games, the other one wins 3 games. One wins 3 games, the other one wins 3 games.
I was just thinking of the same thing. I was saying, these guys are ping-ponging 3 games back and forth.
Yeah.
I win 3, you win 3.
Yeah.
I win 3.
That's fine if you don't get 10-7 ahead.
Or behind.
Yeah. Yeah, 10-7 behind, you're done.
It's okay to be 9-7 behind, because then you win 3, you got 10. Then he wins 3, he has 12, and then you win 3, you win 13-12.
Yeah.
So anytime you're ping-ponging 3 games, you win 3, your opponent wins 3. Always remember, 7 is the key number.
Yeah.
After game number 11,
Yeah, you don't want to win the first 3.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You lose 13-12.
No, you don't,
You win the
because
first
it's
3,
3-0.
you're going to get to 12.
But your opponent's only going to get 12 too.
No.
Oh,
okay,
wait a second.
Okay. Okay, you're right. You're right.
I can't believe I'm right twice. I've been right twice. After game number 11, Varner finds himself only trailing by 1 game now in the match, 5 games to 6. At the table in preparation to break the balls in game number 12, and he has been pocketing balls with regularity on the break. The corner ball, the 3 ball, once again goes in.
Did you notice what he done there? He let up. He come up off of that a little bit. I mean, he took a little steam off of it, and the corner ball went right in.
Well, you know, he's been playing position for the 1 ball in the upper right-hand corner. The only reason he didn't end up with the shot on the 1 is because the 2 or the 7 had a collision near that upper right-hand corner, and it threw the 1 ball back down toward the bottom cushion.
I'd just shoot him down to this end, right down here, right down here between the first diamond and the side pocket, the lower right-hand corner.
In between the 5 and 6?
Right. All the way down to the end. That's where I'd roll to. I'd let him just figure out something from there. Right there where he's standing is where I would roll to. Right there. That's where I would come to.
That's where you'd go to. He put his stick on the rail. That's exactly the position of the table where Buddy said he'd roll to.
I would not roll to where he's talking about there, because now he can kick and stick right there. Knock the 1 down here behind all these balls.
And you must take into consideration he's a snooker player and he knows that shot.
I wouldn't shoot this shot here, no way.
Okay, you wouldn't shoot this shot
No.
if they had a magnum on you.
No, I would not shoot
Okay, now
that.
ANDAM, if he believes the same way, he thinks the same way, and executes the same way you do, or naturally he will accept this shot, kick behind the 1 and stick the cue ball there, driving the 1 down table. He got a rail. The 5's going to block off a pocket. And
He just got a little too much of the 1. But even with that, look
he
at
still
the
got good
position he's
results.
in.
I'd rather be the player in the chair right here opposed to the player at the table, because
Well, he's got a pocket over here to your left.
No.
The 1 goes by.
It does? The 1 goes by into the
The 1
lower
goes by the
left-hand corner
6.
pocket?
Right, the lower left-hand corner. See?
Rick, let's get an overhead view of the entire table once again, just for a second. Let me see if the 1 goes by there. I can't see, my hand's in the way. Let's see. It looks like it's got a shot to go by there, buddy.
Well, Nicky's shooting it in that direction.
You know, obviously it did go by because he hit it.
Look at here, he's going to look at the reward. He's liable to get the, he almost dropped it behind the 8.
Well, he still didn't suffer much of a consequence because he doesn't have what appears to be an easy shot, you know. I mean, if anything, he has a bank cross side, and that's about it.
Okay, Nicky's got a chance to knot it up here.
Well, he has left Nicky a shot. Side pockets available. Cue ball in between the 4 and 9. And even if he were to hit the 4 on the way back, it may even improve his situation, because the 4 ball is positioned near the bottom cushion, and that may be a problem for him to play position on off of the 2. So even if he happens to hit the 4, he'll remove it from that awkward position that it's in now.
He wants to try to pass the 4 to the left-hand side, right?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
No?
Now, even if he hits the 4 here, he missed the 1.
Thinking too much about the cue ball.
Yeah, he played too much cue ball and not enough object ball. He was guilty of the position instead of, he was guilty of playing too much position opposed
That's an
to.
unfavorable cue ball too. Will cause that sometimes. You know, sometimes you shoot that shot and it's the cue ball. I mean, it's not a good cue ball.
It's too light.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's a funny.
Too
cue
light,
ball.
and a heavier ball seems to cut balls better.
Yeah. That was. Big shot there. Man, a big shot there. I mean, really a big shot.
Well,
there.
he may have found some problems positioning the cue ball right off the 6.
Did you notice that? He flinched, kind of jumped when he shot that shot.
Now he's going to have to accept a much more difficult shot on the subsequent ball, the 6, after pocketing the 5. He's going to have to take a long shot on the 6.
He'll end up behind the 9 here.
Hit it very, very nicely.
Yes, he did.
Varner had an opportunity to tie up the match, foiled that opportunity, missing the 1 on the side, leaving ANDAM a shot, which obviously he's made good with. And with the pocketing of the 9, ANDAM will then take a 2-game lead in the match, 7 games to 5. Archer on the adjacent table, trying to claw his way back into the match, trails 6 games to 11 at the table, shooting the 7. Davenport ahead of Dick Lane, 7 games to 4. Howard on the end table in a match against George Michael seems to be having an easy time, leading 10 games to 1. Tommy Kennedy against the popular Tom Vanover, leading 9 games to 5. Kennedy. ANDAM pocketing a ball on the break. 2 balls on the break. Ending up with a shot on the 1. Already has a 2-game advantage, and it looks like the balls are placed quite nicely on the table, but he looks like he's going to extend it to 3 games.
Yeah, I don't see any problem there. Every time he wins a game, he wins 3. So that means this one and 1 more?
Yeah. Nick came to within 1 game of the lead. It was 6-4. Nick made it 6-5. Had an excellent opportunity to tie it up. Gave away the game, missing the 1. ANDAM won that game, and obviously it looks like he's going to run with 4 remaining balls off the table. That'll be the 2nd consecutive game. That was a very nice shot.
Yes, it was.
Very nice cue ball speed. I'll go 2 cushions with the cue ball, opposed to just 1. I believe the reason why players do that is because they make that skit a little more unlikely to happen, increasing the accuracy of the shot somewhat too by using the 2 cushion position for the 8 opposed to the 1. He should shoot this shot on the 9 the same way. And he does. At game number 13 goes to Leonardo ANDAM, who leads the match 8 games to 5.
I'll tell you, it's not looking good.
It's not looking good for Varner. And if you can get a shot at Varner in the chair right now, he's got that, that baffled look about himself right now. Corner ball, 8 ball.
Now he's really made a couple of really uncharacteristic mistakes.
He certainly has.
Of a player his caliber.
Yeah, he seems to be really baffled out there in his chair right now. He's totally confused. He doesn't understand how he's behind or how he managed to drop behind by 3 games, but he's made a couple of mistakes, like Buddy mentioned, uncharacteristic of the way he plays.
Of a player of his caliber, yeah.
Looks like he's gotten the cue ball a little offline here. Can he pull it back?
He's got to just go over the top of the 6. He's.
Can he go? I mean, around the 6?
Okay, he's going around the 6.
Watch out! That's not around the 6.
They're right. That's really a danger. If you're going to hit that shot, what you have to do, you have to hit it semi-high. You want it to glance, but then you want it to go forward.
Right. The speed that you hit it with will give you the glance that you need. Then you go forward.
All right.
Now what do you do? He's playing crossed. He's crossing the 3.
Well, he's trying to get behind the 5. That's real.
Well,
he's got 2 balls up there he can get behind.
But that was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, there were 2 balls up there.
Very, very nicely executed shot. The 8 ball is underneath the 5. I can't tell from my angle, and also with my eyes, but it really is there. Nicky's at the table. And he doesn't like what he has offered to him. No, he's looking at the two-rail kick now. Long rail. Excuse me, short rail, long rail before the point of the side into the 3 in that fashion.
Four and the 5 are on the rail up there, and then the 3's underneath that. I mean, the 3's on the other side of that.
You know, he's going to go out of 2 cushions, 1, 2, and into the 3 like this. Very nicely done. And he may have gotten away with it slightly, you know. ANDAM has a choice to make right now. He can go for the bank cross side, but he may not be able to hold the cue ball for position on the 5, or else he can just play a safety here.
Well, I didn't like playing it that way. If you're going to play that safety, you use the 3. You use the 3. You shoot the 3 at the 4. You bring the cue ball down between the 9 and 6.
You know, I agree with you, but then again, I disagree because listen to the reasoning behind this.
I know if he hits the 4.
Well, if he hits the 4, fine. But even if he does leave a shot, still he has to make the long shot, and then he has to get back up table where the 4 is. So therefore, he really has his work cut out for him. And if he would have hit the 4 instead of the 5, he would have really done well with the shot. Even if he leaves him a shot, the 4 is down the same side of the table the cue ball is on, and he has a lot of work. Now, had he shot the 3 down that end of the table, if Nicky steps to the table with a possible bank on the 3, if he makes the bank, he's right there for position on the 4. So therefore, there's a couple different ways you can look at it.
Yeah, I like using the 3 ball because now you do have both balls down there. If you put him in a tough spot off of that ball, he knows both those balls are down there. He's going to start squeezing. He's not going to be moving stuff. I like the 3. I like using the 3. But I see your logic. I see what you're talking about. Now here's a shot that they kick in a lot. They kick this shot in.
Well, if he kicks it in, he's going to have another difficult shot on the 5.
Yeah, he's going to be down behind the 6.
Okay, Varner steps to the table with a fairly decent opportunity now.
Yeah, right. Real nice opportunity.
Trailing by 3 games, 8 games to 5. Archer on the adjacent table, as I mentioned a little while ago, trying to claw his way back into the match after trailing 11 to 5. He has now managed to string 3 racks on Junior Harris, and now only trails by 3 games.
Right, he's starting to make his
8.
presence known over there. If he could claw himself out, claw his way through this match, and if he could come out of this match, he might be hard to beat the rest of the tournament.
In the meantime, the deliberate Varner is addressing the 5 ball now in preparation to shoot the 5. A little close to his work.
He's okay though. Looks okay. Johnny's liable to get right back in that game over there. Junior just scratched.
With the pocketing of the 7 and the 9, Varner will then edge his way within two games of the lead, 6 games to 8.
I'd say it's about break time. It's about time for Varner to take a break.
Well, if he takes a break here, then I know that you and him have something going.
No, they played a lot of games. This is the spot you would take a break in. Don't you think?
Well, I don't know. You know, I mean, it's a tough match, a very sharply contested match. Maybe he might want to save that break into a time where he may even need it. Maybe there's more of a reason at a later time in the match where he would want to take a break, other than taking an automatic break at halftime.
Yeah.
Now the wing ball this time is the 5 ball. At least that's the side of the rack. The wing ball hasn't been going in. the right side, the 5 ball. Watch the 5 ball, and also watch the position on the 1. The 5 ball did not go in. He was playing position on the 1 in the upper right-hand corner. He has position, but he failed to pocket the ball.
But he didn't check the rack, did he?
I don't know what he checked, if he did check anything. But I know that he didn't pocket a ball on the break, leaving ANDAM an opportunity to lengthen his lead. He already leads by 2 games. 2 to 3, the 4, the 5, and the 6. The 6, I believe, I don't see any problems. No. The 3 to the 4, the key shot in the rack. And that doesn't present much of a problem. 8 to the 9 is the only other problem, if you can call that a problem, which it's really not.
I don't see any problems. The 3 to the 4.
He would like to stay straight in on the 5 for the side. He doesn't want to have to go up table and back down again. But even if he has to, it's still not a big problem. He's got in perfect line on the 5 now. Archer had ball in hand on the adjacent table, and when I look up, Junior Harris is at the table. I don't understand what happened there.
He missed a 5.
In the meantime, back to the feature match. I'm at the table. Doesn't appear like anything can stop him.
Yeah.
He's close to the 7. He'll be able to get close to the 8. I don't like the way he played position there. I myself would have opted to play an angle on the 8 and went across table, because you could reach it more comfortably. And since the 9 ball was positioned in the center of the table, there was no problem falling nicely on it. But nevertheless, he was still able to get out quite easily after game number 15. Leonardo ANDAM now extends his lead once again by 3 games, 9 games to 6. Junior Harris just missed the 8.
It's starting to be a battle over there. Oh my goodness.
Corner ball, 4 ball. That's the wing ball on the right side of the rack. It cooperated that time. And that time ANDAM broke the balls. But he didn't come up with a shot. If you notice the position of the 1 ball at the upper right-hand corner pocket and back of the 7.
Yeah, this is a very difficult push here. All you can do is bump the 6. Just roll up, bump the 6. That's the only push I see. I don't know any place else to push to.
How about rolling the 3 on the 2?
Well, yeah.
That'll at least tie up a ball. Now, even if you happen to make an error or a blunder here, at least there's still other problems that the incoming player has to deal with. Archer winning that game over there, now only trailing by 2 games, 9 games to 11. We're going to try to keep you up to date on the matches that are running concurrently with the feature match, because all these matches are really important. Kennedy in front of Tom Vanover, 9 games to 7. That's they're both undefeated.
Oh, is that right? Winner's side, huh?
Mm-hmm. Winner's side match. David Howard has just beaten George Michaels in another winner's bracket match. Davenport.
Nah, that was a loser's side match. George is on the loser's side.
Really? Okay, well then that was a loser's bracket match. Davenport's ahead of Dick Lane, 7 games to 5. Bustamante and Greg Fix are battling back and forth in their match. Fix right now with the lead, 7 games to 6. Bustamante at the table. Don Polo trailing Alan Hopkins, 3 games to 10. Kennedy now is ahead 10 games to 7. And finally, Varner passes the shot back to ANDAM.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He says something. He's going to try to double kiss his cue ball over a little. Tit-tit, tit-tit. Now he just ended up behind the 7 again here. This is going to be a long game here.
Do you run the risk of trying to put him behind the 7, open up the 2 and the 3? Maybe it's not that easy of a shot. Does he have a back kick? Kicking the 1?
Maybe.
Maybe sticking there, possibly.
Maybe. That would be a good shot.
That shot you shot on ESPN, remember that one?
Right.
Huh?
That's probably the shot. Unless he can just two-rail the 1 out. If he can two-rail the 1 out, that's the shot. But if he can't...
I don't know if he can do that. Well, I think he's going to back kick it.
That's just as good.
You don't think he can get in there deeply enough to execute that particular shot the way it should be executed?
Well, you don't draw the ball. See, if you draw the ball, you're putting high English on the cue ball.
No, he played your first shot.
7.
Played your first shot.
That's the shot.
Yeah. Locking him up very nicely. And actually what he really wanted to do, along with locking him up, he wanted to free the 3 from the 2, open up the rack for himself. If he comes to the table with a shot, he'll be able to run the balls.
He opened it up a little, but not much.
Mm-hmm. And then Andam just closed it up for him right then with that kick.
Nice. That was a very nice shot. Okay, here you have a 2-railer. Above the 5, under the 9, into the 1. Or do you play 1 rail, Bill?
It looks like he's going 1 rail.
He's shooting this really fast. He shot at it pretty fast.
He didn't want to make it. If he would have made it, he would have had a tougher shot coming up. And he almost made it. That's how well he hit it.
I believe he'd rather make it than... That's liable to leak out and give him a shot there.
No, I believe he's secured a position behind the 9.
Well.
Very nicely executed. I saw the masse take effect as the cue ball went down the table, bending so slightly enough to miss the point of the side pocket and then hitting the 1. This is an interesting situation. He can reverse the ball and possibly go into the 3-2 here and open them up, which he's done very nicely, hitting the 2 and freeing the 2 up from a 3. But now he has a problem here, buddy.
If he plays the 2 in, he's got to hit it hard enough to miss the 5. He don't have a shot here.
If he's able to pocket the 2, which he can, the cue ball will then go away from the 3 toward the area where the 5 is.
He's going to play him behind the 6. No? Boy.
This is tough here.
Why would you shoot
He
it?
doesn't like this. He doesn't like this.
I don't see why you would even shoot at a shot like that.
This is such a difficult shot.
Boy.
He split the pocket. I mean, that would have gone in a snooker pocket.
Yeah. It's 11-10 with Archer and Harris.
You know, this man has really outplayed Varner in this match. Yeah, he's only made that actually only one bad mistake. That was missing the 4 ball. And well, now that's 2.
That's 2.
But you know, he's really played a great match so far.
Yeah, he's played a good match. Sure has.
Varner edging his way even now a little closer to Junior Harris, trailing now by only 1 game. 10 games to 11.
Oh, boy. You play above this or below it?
I don't know, and depending on the angle. If you have the angle to play above it, I'd play above it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's nice.
Now, if you know you're going to hit it like that,
That's
yes.
nice, yeah. And you have to take a look at the position of the 9. You can fall on either side of the 9 and end up with a nice shot. So therefore, the angle that he ended up with on the 8 was really inconsequential. He really didn't have to play an exact angle on the 8 considering the position of the 9. So therefore, playing above the ball like he did was probably the right shot. And the awes that you just heard was for the action on the adjacent table in the match between Harris and Archer, where Harris was at the table with an excellent opportunity and foiled it. In the meantime, back in action here, Varner winning game number 16. Now trailing by only 2 games in the match, 7 games to 9. And not only that, the 2 and the 9 on the adjacent table are lined up perfectly for an easy short rack win, which now Archer's going to be the benefactor. Now he'll pocket an easy 2-9 combination. He'll tie up the match 11 games apiece.
He was all the way out of that match.
He was out of the
Junior
match
let him back in it.
games to 5, and he's won 6 consecutive games.
Yeah, but Junior's missed balls hanging right in the hole like 3 times.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure here
on
at US
Junior.
Open, and there's a lot more pressure on Junior because he's got a lot of supporters here, and he really don't want to let them down, I believe, and that's what usually happens. Varner really making it a blunder here, scratching in the side off of the break.
He got kissed in. The ball come along and knocked it right in the hole.
Well, it's the unforeseen things that really come back sometimes to hurt you badly, like the ball coming from another part of the table, kissing the cue ball into a pocket.
My goodness, why do you want to be that far from it?
I don't know, but I think he just took it for granted that the 3 was in front of the upper right-hand corner. But still, the closer you are to all balls, the easier it is for you to run the remaining balls.
Yeah.
If you're closer to the 3, you'll get closer to the 4. So even though the 3's in front of the pocket, you still want to get close to it. He's back in pretty good line now for the 4.
He wants to be straight in. He didn't get straight in, but he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is pocket the 6. The cue ball will then go in between the 9, 7.
He may have overhit that.
I was doing commentary with W.W. Woody in an earlier match, and he made a very noteworthy point, and that is, I think that players should practice shooting balls from the jaws of the pocket, object balls that is, more often, to understand really how the cue ball reacts in that position.
Yeah.
And that's so true because it's really difficult sometimes to control the cue ball when you have to shoot a ball that's hanging. And that's the mistake that ANDAM had just made, but he was able to recover.
Beautifully. Recovered
yes,
beautifully.
Yes, he did.
Really a nice shot there.
That's game number 17. It goes to ANDAM, who now leads in the match by 3 games, 10 games to 7. Once again, Chesapeake plays host to a capacity crowd here at the U.S. Open. Look around the room, and every seat in the house is filled Friday night.
Well, they didn't open up quite as pretty tough here to get back on the 3. You really got a tough shot here to get back on the 3.
Yeah, you just may play a hook here by positioning the cue ball behind the 7-9. Wow, did a real nice job. He didn't really want to get through the center or the middle of the 7-9 or split him. Now he's left Varner a kick off the side cushion. It's not an easy kick, and that side pocket's real big too. It happened in the event that he hits the 2. The cue ball may find its way into the side. Now Varner exercises his option of taking a break. Buddy decides that he'll take his break along with Varner. On the adjacent table, in a match between Junior Harris and Johnny Archer, at one time in that match, Harris had an 11, 5 advantage. Archer's at the table with the match knotted up at 11 games apiece, and it appears that he's going to go ahead 12 games to 11 because the 7, 8, 9 are on the table, and he's in good line. About 20 minutes ago, it was a very disgruntled Archer slumping in his chair. Now he's been, for some reason, he's revitalized. And he looks like he's going to go ahead 12 games to 11. And he does. Archer is the first player to find himself on the hill position. And how could you ever think that possibly could happen at one time in the match, trailing 11 games to 5, only to see himself come back winning 6, 7 consecutive games, taking the lead 12 games to 11. Sometimes it's just so difficult to beat a world champion the caliber of Johnny Archer, regardless of what kind of lead you have. You know, I've been in that situation many times, and I find it difficult. Junior Harris was in a very similar position, leading Archer 11 to 5, and he really hasn't found what it takes up to this point to put him away. Now he's trailing in the match 12 to 11. A friend of mine and a very strong player from the Pittsburgh area, Jim Marino, just stepped into the booth. We don't have a microphone, but we got a pair of headsets. You want to slip them on? Okay, and Buddy's on a break here. Varner also was on a break. The feature match is between Leonardo ANDAM and Nick Varner. As you see the score, ANDAM's ahead 10 games to 7. But the action that's taking place here, along with the feature match, is really some great action, like the match between Archer and Harris. Have you been watching that match at all?
I just walked in, but Archer's hot. He's hot. He lives, sleeps, dreams, eats pool. He's a tough customer.
At one time in your life, that's what you did too, wasn't it?
I'd have to say that's the truth. He's got the desire.
Okay, what we're going to do right now is change the tape. It'll only take a minute or so, and we'll be right back. So hold on. Okay, Jim? Hold on 1 second. A former world champion that hails from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Buddy Hall is on the break, and we have an opportunity to speak to Jim. Jim, you entered this tournament. You were playing really well. You had a match against Tony Ellen, and which you eventually lost that match 12 games to 13, but you played rather well in that match.
Billy's put it pretty kindly. I gave the match away.
Well, you know.
And these people that came up to me later, they said, "Why did you shoot that left-handed?" Well, I've been shooting that shot left-handed my whole life, and I'll continue to.
Well, that's the only answer, and it's a good enough answer for me. But beside that, you know, you have been playing well in this tournament. Are you still in the tournament?
No. I'm out of the tournament. Not by choice, but I got beat twice.
Well, since this is a double elimination tournament, then you're with me.
But I'm with Billy here in the booth now. That's where we come when we lose the second match. But there's a fine field assembled here. But I must say, I don't know a lot of these players. There's a lot of new guys coming up.
Well, in the adjacent match, in the action between Junior Harris and Johnny Archer, I mentioned that the score was 12-11. Archer was at the table, running out the final game, at least for him, in the match, missing the 3-ball. Now Junior Harris jumps out of his chair in preparation to try to take control of this game and hopefully the match. In the meantime,
here's Nicky's back at the table.
Okay, in the meantime, Buddy Hall is back. Nicky's back at the table. Jim, it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Well, now I guess I'm locked out of the booth now too.
You know, this is
I'll have to turn this back to Billy and Buddy.
Okay, Jim, thanks for stopping up. And
No problem at
see you
all.
at a later time.
Okay.
Buddy?
Hey, bud. Hey,
Now we're back in action where Nick has to kick for the 2-ball. Successfully hitting the 2-ball. Not only hitting it, but he pocketed the 2-ball in the side pocket. I don't know if he's come up with a shot. Well, I'll tell you, the action really has gotten a lot better since you took your break. Archer went ahead of Harris 12 games to 11 and was at the table running out to close out the match. Missed a 3, gave Harris an unexpected opportunity.
Wow.
Harris back at the table taking advantage of the opportunity. It looks like that match is going to be tied up at 12 games apiece. And if at all possible, we have the cameras. Maybe we could swing over to that match and watch the deciding game.
Yeah.
The score is 10-7 here, and Varner's pondering the situation over.
Nicky's going to try to lock him in there.
Why don't we swing the cameras over to the adjacent table, Rick, if that's okay with Pat?
It's over there.
Seems to be the exciting match of this round, not about 12 games apiece. ANDAM kicking, not doing much with the kick. And here's the cameras on that table. There's Harris breaking the balls, pocketing a ball on the break.
The 1 ball.
The 1 ball, he needs a shot on the 2, and I don't know if he has a shot on the 2, but the 2 lined up with the 8 with a possible 2-8 combination. He pocketed 1 ball on the break. He does have a 2-8 combination. Everything's riding on this one game.
Fixes leading Bustamante by 2 games. Why? What's some nice matches?
Let's find out if Junior Harris from the Washington-Baltimore area can get the job done. He's had opportunities earlier in this match to get the job done, and he didn't do it. He just played the combination hanging up the 8.
I can't see. I'm blocked over there.
Okay, now the 8 ball has finally rested in front of the corner pocket, but it seems to be resting rather awkwardly in front of the pocket. Possibly, buddy, Johnny may have a problem pocketing either the 8 or the 2 here.
I think the 8's deep. Isn't the 8 deep?
I don't think it is.
If
Look at
it's
the
deep.
monitor.
Yeah.
He may have a problem pocketing a ball here. Oh, he was able to put down the 2. And it looks like the 8 came up and froze itself against the 4, not allowing the 4 to pass the 8 into the corner pocket. So actually, the suspense is still here in this last game of the match.
And Nicky just made a great shot and come up just a little short on the 5. Boy, we got a couple of really nice
So let's
matches
keep the
here.
cameras on the adjacent table, on table 5, in that match between Archer and Harris. So there's the position of the 4 and the 8 as Rick Boley swings the camera over to give you a real good view of the 4 and the 8. Archer at the table.
Is he going to play the billiard?
I don't know. I don't believe the billiard's available.
Yeah. I believe he's going to play the billiard.
I'll tell you what's available though. The 2 cross corner. If you notice, take the camera. Take the camera. Excuse me. Take the camera over to the other side of the table where the 7's hanging. Now the 7's hanging over there. The 4 that is may go into the 7 here.
I believe he's playing the 8.
Oh, he did make the billiard, but he wasn't able to control the 4 ball. His body's blocking the view on that particular ball now. He has a very difficult shot. The cue ball has positioned itself very closely to the 9. He has a difficult shot on the 4, and the position of the 5 will be a problem even if he's able to pocket the 4.
He's going to stick him behind the 9 here. No, he's looking to shoot. He's shooting.
He's bending over. He's a very limber man. Lean and limber, and he's able to bend over the
Nicky
table or
just made a
stretch over
great
the table.
shot here on our match here on center court. He just made a great shot.
Here we go. You can't see what's happening, but he was able to pocket the 4. He's hit it with enough speed to have himself come up with a shot on the 5. Tommy Kennedy just defeating Tom Vanover, 13 games to 9. Winner bracket match. 13 to 9, that is. Varner looking to
Well, that was a great out.
2 games of the lead, 8 games to 10. And Archer back at the table, shooting the 5, 6 on the side, 7 in the corner, 9 near the foot spot.
Well, Harris had him, and I think he's let him get away.
You know, we commented on that. How many times have you had intimidating players, world champion players, the caliber of Johnny Archer on the ropes?
2 times world champion on the rope.
Happens a lot. Happens a lot.
Oh, Johnny came up a little short on the 9. His stroke isn't quite as long as it normally is.
Varner pocketing 2 balls on the break.
That was a nice break there.
And he has a shot on the 2.
He got a chance to close the gap a little here.
Here comes Archer. This is match ball. Well, you saw it. There's no need to tell you what happened. Let's go back to the feature table. Well, thanks a lot, Rick.
That one had everybody's attention. They thought that the 2-time world champion Johnny Archer was going by the wayside, but he clawed his way out of it.
He did, believe me. He really played brilliantly to get back into the match, but he had a little help from Junior Harris. Back to the feature match, and the action seems to be getting a lot better here also. 10 games to 8, now trailing only by 2 games.
I don't know how the 6 and 8 lays. Maybe it's a nice combination 6-8.
If not, he'll be able to go into the 8 right here. If he can go directly into the 8 off the cue ball right here, spinning 2 cushions for position on the 4, he'll do that. 1, 2, and he does that very nicely. May have gone up table a little bit farther.
I don't think the 4 may not pass.
He seems to be happier with the result, so that's an indication that it does pass.
We have a little bit of a flow of traffic now. People are leaving from watching the Archer-Harris match.
Okay, Varner executing that shot very nicely, finds himself in perfect line on the 5 now.
This is the strategic shot here. If he gets on the 6, then he's back to within 1 game. I'd say he lays perfect. Laying perfect. Now.
Yeah, I like digging down and drawing the ball 2 cushions, staying slightly underneath the 8. Well, I think he's gone a little bit too far. Of course, I guess he played it that way. I don't like this angle as much as the other angle.
I don't either. You hammer this around 2 rails, or you go 1.
You have options, but you know, nothing is natural.
He's undecided.
Nothing is natural. The other angle is much more natural if you stay underneath the 8 a little bit. See, nothing is natural here. He had to force it. He had to stretch. The angle that he ended up with on the 8, I certainly would have wanted to end up on that angle. I would have been pinched the shot on the 6, played the angle favoring the underside of the 8 slightly, makes the position on the 9
table
much more natural. Okay, game number 19 goes to Nick Varner, who finds himself trailing now by only 1 game in the match, 9 games to 10.
Back in the hunt. Back in the hunt.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
I guess that break he took kind of helped a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to him outside there, and he said what he wants to do, he wants to slow it down a little bit, take his time, and really try to play error-free from here on out, and make, if Andam wins, he wants to make him earn it. He don't want to give it to him.
Well, you know, from here on out, there really isn't that much of a match left. Andam having 10 games at the time, Varner having 8 games at the time. So therefore, it was just a short race after he came back into the tournament room. He obviously has taken
What's the 1 going to look like?
He may have a shot on the 1. By the expression on his face, it's certainly a strong indication that he doesn't.
Yeah, I would say he doesn't.
A very disgruntled look on his face there, and
he told me outside there, hey, the way that corner ball's going in, If I get a shot, I might can close it out with ANDAM in the chair. That's the way a champion
He's playing
thinks.
a one-pocket shot here, Buddy. He's going to draw the ball and stick underneath the 3. And what he did, he didn't get deeply enough behind it in fear that he might scratch.
Right, but he left him. He left him a combination if he elects to shoot at it. I'll tell you what I like here. I like just thinning the 1 and dropping down behind the 9.
Well, difficult shot, but I
like just rolling it across. Just shoot it across just play the 1 across the top of the 4 and just lag the cue ball to the end rail. Hope that, you know, you try to ensure that you hit a rail because you're moving both balls about the same speed. He elected to come up by the 8.
Well, by opting to take that shot, he reassured himself that he wouldn't foul by not getting a ball to a cushion.
Well, I feel like that a person has to be just a little fortunate when they can cover an exact ball. When the cue ball's traveling 2.5, 3 foot, the other ball's moving a couple of feet, and then cover an exact ball, both sides exactly on the opposite side. So you got to be a little lucky to do that.
In that respect, I agree. He was a little lucky there, but I really don't find any fault in the way he played that shot because even if he wouldn't have covered the whole ball, he still wouldn't have left
Look
much.
at this.
No, Nick kicked in the 1, and the last time he was at the table with a kick shot, he also kicked it in. So, you know, Nick really kicks well.
Very dangerous shot here. Got so many balls you can get behind. You can hit the 7 solid, stay behind the 4. You can hit it a little funny, get behind the 9. You can even come around 2 rails and get behind the 8. There's a chance to get behind every ball on the table here.
Yeah, certainly, because he's going to go into the 7, and who knows what's going to happen then.
See, there was a chance to get behind every ball. He didn't cut to 2 quite. That's what I don't like about this shot. With that cue ball, you hit that ball, it twists, it turns. You actually have to hit that ball a lot thinner to cut a ball in than you do like you say, a heavy cue ball.
Seems to be a very popular place on the floor in front of our booth.
It is a very popular place. Boy, that was such a big game there.
Well, every game hereafter is going to be a big game, and Nick knows it. And I think that the presence of the 7 ball sort of like intimidated him somewhat, and caused to diminish the accuracy of the shot, just enough for him to miss it. You know, he had his mind on that 7 because you said there was a lot of bad things that could happen.
All right.
Caliber of player that Nick Varner is obviously realized the same thing, and possibly he may have been distracted just a little bit too much by the presence of the 7.
He could actually have gotten behind any ball on the table.
Yeah, that's right.
Big game there.
Okay, that puts ANDAM with 11 wins and Varner with 9. Could have been knotted up at 10 apiece possibly, but to err is human, and we're all guilty of that. Nick Varner certainly is no exception.
He came up dry first time. First time dry.
First time since the early set stage of the match. He came up dry 3 times early in the match. The first 3 breaks, remember? Well, he probably
made a ball on a break. He had to push
but
out.
Didn't have a shot, right? Exactly.
My opponent is over there warming up for me.
Mark Gregory from the Pittsburgh area, currently living in
Mississippi.
I think Atlanta, Georgia. I think he lives in Atlanta right now. There's a lot of traffic right now in the tournament area. There's a lot of matches that are coming to an end just about right now. And people are going to their tables and walking in front of the booth here. And this is really one of our best spots for the booth that we've had.
Right.
Nick Varner is in a tough spot himself, trailing 9 games to 11. But
actually, they'll need to build a riser next time and have our booth setting up about 6 foot from here.
Right. But quite often, this man from Owensboro finds himself in a tough spot and works himself out, just like Archer did against Harris. That's what makes him so dangerous and so feared.
Yeah. Depending on how long this match lasts, I may have to exit because my match is coming up.
Oh, that's understandable. So therefore, anytime you feel that you have to leave.
Well, I'm going to wait till it's our tournament director's call. I'm going to wait on Uncle Pat. I just want to be able to take a 5-minute break or so before I play.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And I would like to hit a few balls.
Well, I'm sure that they'll allow you to do that considering the situation and the circumstances.
That's wonderful.
All right. And the little man from Owensboro is taking care of business at the table. Shooting the 6. Realizing that that last blunder cost him an opportunity to tie up the match.
I believe that ball twisted on him a little bit, that 2 ball.
And also realizing that he cannot afford to blunder again. He's really hanging by a thread here. And another mistake hereafter could be history for him. Match could be history if he foils any other opportunities hereafter. So therefore, he's going to have to play flawless 9 ball for the remainder of the match.
Okay. I'll tell you what, Billy, I'm going to leave you. I think David Maddox is going to come in and kind of replace me here. I've enjoyed it. Look forward to doing it again before this tournament's over.
All right,
and
buddy.
I'm going to turn it over to David Maddox now, and I'm going to go on and try to warm up and play my match.
Okay, buddy. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Okay, Buddy's exiting the booth now. Dave Maddox will be sitting down, sharing the commentary duties with myself. Well, I know you've been watching. I know you've been watching this match, Dave. Varner, I don't believe at any time in the match has had the lead. He's been clawing his way back throughout the entire match. He was down 3 games, I believe, twice in the match. And he's also had opportunities to tie up the match, which he's failed to do on at least one occasion. Now the score is 11-10 in favor of ANDAM. Time is running out on Varner, and he really can't afford to make any more mistakes for the remainder of the match.
He is such a tiger. I mean, he just he doesn't know what quit is, and he's coming at you from the leg to the end.
He certainly is. He's a very obstinate player. He really doesn't have any quit in him, and he understands the importance of times like this time and juncture of the match. He knows this is really where the money's won, and he does very well at the later stages of the matches that he plays in.
ANDAM has got to be commended. He has played a great match. Also,
he certainly has.
He picked right up where he left off last night, playing Bustamante, and
Varner falling short of the mark really has a decision to make here. And he really doesn't have an easy safe, and he doesn't have an easy offensive shot. So therefore, you may even call this somewhat of a dilemma that he's confronted with here.
Well, he's looking at the bank.
I don't know if he's looking at the bank or not, because even if he's able to bank the 2, position on the 3
is
difficult unless he accepts the long shot on the 3. And if he does that, then it's either him or ANDAM, because if he misses the bank, it's going to be right in front of the pocket.
Right. He may bank the 2 down to the area of the right side of the 3 and try to use the 7-8 as a snooker.
And I don't think he can control the cue ball like that. So he's going to have to hit it soft, trying to put the 2 in back of the 7 and 8 on the other side of the table.
I believe he's gotten him completely hidden with the 8.
Okay,
if he can hit it, he can only hit the edge.
Well, what he had to work with, it looks like he's done well with what he had to work with. ANDAM's an excellent snooker player. He'll hit and he'll kick this ball very softly, but it doesn't appear he's gotten away with it.
He didn't exercise the same amount of judgment on that shot that a lot of times he has in this match. He just, he got up there and saw an available 1-rail kick, and without really giving much thought of where the 2 was going, where the cue ball were going. Kind of 2-stroke that kick.
That's very possible that's what happened. In the meantime, the little man from Owensboro is at the table, and once again, he has an opportunity to tie up the match.
Has he not been even? Has it not been even?
This match has been even. It was even, I believe, at 3 games apiece, and I believe it was even once again. It may have been at 6 games apiece, but I could be wrong. But he had an opportunity to knot it up at 9 games apiece or 10 games apiece, and he foiled his opportunity at that time, only to see him have another opportunity at 11 to 10 to tie it up at 11 apiece. And as stubborn as he is and as tough as he is in this type of a situation, I'd be surprised if he didn't tie it up.
The balls are laying very good now.
He's positioned the cue ball ideally for position on the 9. Left himself a nice angle slightly under the 8. He'll then draw the cue ball somewhere in the vicinity of the side pocket, it looks like. So he's 6 to 8 inches off the side pocket, left side of the table. Well, he was able to even draw it better than that. He may have to stretch a little bit on this shot.
It looked like from where we are, it looked like he had more angle. He would have had to go to the rail when he shot the 8, but he was able to just draw it down and tie the score up at 11 games apiece.
Okay, he was able to tie it up at 11 apiece, and now there's only a possible 3 games left in the match. So this match is drawing nearer and nearer to its conclusion. 11 games apiece. We're having some real exciting matches. If you remember, Archer at one time trailed in this match 5 games to 11. Came back and won it 13 to 12.
What did you say last night? You Junior snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
I didn't say anything like that, but that's what you just said.
That is what I just said.
Yeah, Junior Harris did have a lot of opportunities to put Archer away, but it's so difficult.
Yes.
To put a champion away the caliber of Johnny Archer. His presence alone is so intimidating to so many people that it just makes their task so much more difficult. And that holds true in any sport that we play.
Right. A race to 2 with Nick Varner. How you like it?
Well, he came up dry on the break, and that's one of the few times either player has come up dry on the break. ANDAM at the table.
Very nice shot.
Once again, controlling the cue ball to near perfection and also controlling the object ball.
Can you tell if he can get to the rail, be up above the side?
Well, I don't know exactly what he has offered to him here, if anything. There's such little room in between the 8 and the point to the side pocket for him to squeeze the cue ball.
He's looking at playing it on this side and lengthening the cue ball. He'd have to soft spin it. We've gotten snookered by the referee.
Now his concern is hitting the 8 with the cue ball. He's going to get a fortuitous roll here on the 1 ball, setting the 1 ball down table, hitting the point, coming back up table, keeping the cue ball behind the 8. That was a very, very fortunate roll, especially when you consider the time that it happened, 11 games apiece.
Well, the 1 ball also almost went off of the 6 in the corner. And had he made the 1, he would have been able to play safe off of the 2. But, as it turned out, the 1 ball hits the point, comes up the table, and the cue ball leaves him snookered behind the 8.
Let's take a look at the situation, the way it lies on the table now. The 3 and the 5 are near the foot spot. The 4 ball is the ball nearest the lower left-hand corner, positioned closely to the bottom cushion. Now the crux in this particular rack is positioned from the 3 to the 4. The angle, the desired angle, would be for him to end up close to the left-hand side pocket, straight in on the 3.
Dead straight in.
Okay, now in fear of scratching in the side, he hit the shot and came up short. Now he's going to have to deal with the 5. This is something that he really didn't want to deal with. Now, after contacting the 5 is going to go possibly, maybe even into the 9. And it may block the path to the 4 because the cue ball is going to get very little movement.
Well, he has to control the speed of the 5 on this shot to end up with a shot on the 4.
Had he attained a straight-in angle on the 3, most of his problems would have been taken care of in regards to the 3 to the 4. That's not what he did. Now he has a problem. Let's see how well he deals with it. Okay, he's gotten very, very good results with that particular shot, executing that shot to near perfection, positioning the cue ball ideally for the 4, up table for the 5. Okay, now he's not out of the woods yet, even though he does have an accessible route to the 6. That's twice cross table. He still has to make sure that he hits the 5 cleanly because this particular shot on this table really has been hanging up quite a bit.
If he hits the side rail, he could miss it.
Very cleanly.
Very clean.
Okay, now it looks like he's finally has worked his way out of the woods, and everything seems to be open now. All he needs to do now is pocket the 6 and keep strong concentration, because regardless of how simple things may appear, once you lose your concentration, funny things start to happen. Varner knows that, and I'm certainly sure he's going to keep the concentration that got him to this point in the rack.
The only thing left for him to do is to get above the 8.
Okay, he's walking it back. I think he likes the results. It appears that he's quite comfortable out there. Doesn't show any signs
that it could be too straight.
Yeah, or unhappiness at all. It looks like exactly what happened. He was perfect. Now this will be the first time in the entire match that Varner has taken the lead from ANDAM.
Well, these matches tonight have been very exciting matches.
Varner's the first player to reach the hill, Dave, 12 games to 11, and also that's the first time in the match he's taken the lead.
Well, it's the time for him, late in the match, where you said a minute ago that this is the time in the match when Nick knows that this is where you make the money, and that's where he's displayed his, strong skills late in the match.
Well, that's where the champions get paid off late in the match. That's the reason why they get paid more than the other players, because they perform their best at the end of the match. And that holds true in most sports. The champion teams perform best in the fourth quarter of football, also the fourth quarter of basketball, and also champion boxers, they perform the best in the late rounds. No different here in pool, where the champion players perform the best in the later stages of a match.
The one time that Nick doesn't get the cue ball up at the other end for position on the one in the corner is the game that he's on the hill. And the Cardona rule came into effect.
Well, that's indicative to just exactly how the match has been played the entire way through. There's been a lot of suspense in this match, and once again, there continues to be it continues to be a suspenseful match.
That is the Cardona rule. The 7 ball was the last ball moving, and it obstructed the path to the 1. The last ball moving always gets you.
Nick is thinking to himself, where can I push? Well, if I push and leave him a very difficult shot on the 1, if he makes it, he might get out, he might win, he might tie up the match. If he misses it, I might make the 1, might run out, and then I'll win the match. So that's pretty good percentages.
Right.
If he passes this shot, he may be fearful of passing a shot, figuring that if Nick makes it, he'll win the match. But obviously, that's not what happened. Without hesitation, ANDAM looked at the shot and said to Nick, "Go ahead, Nick. I don't want to deal with it. I'll see what you can do with it."
I think that Nick was trying to get another inch or two to the right when he shot the 3, and the cue ball just stopped. And I think the 9 has got him at least partially snookered, because ANDAM did not look at that very long. He's looking at the kick right there. He's marking the rail, looking at the kick. So
that's exactly what he's looking at. And if in fact the 9 ball does have him snookered, which obviously it does, I think that it was a blunder on Nick's part to have pushed in this position.
Yes.
Unless he knows something that at least I don't know.
Right.
I mean, what could he have in mind here to push in this position? I really can't answer that question.
There's nothing up the table to hook him with. A kick a kick safety that he could hook him with. I just think that when he pushed out, he meant to hit more of the side of the 3 and float the cue ball over to around where the chalk's at.
Okay, it was definitely a blunder on Nick's part of pushing to the position that he ended up in. I think perhaps he wanted to push to where he had left the shot on the 1 and created a very challenging situation.
ANDAM.
Okay, and that's not where he pushed. He ended up pushing to a position on the table where he couldn't do anything offensively, leaving really no choice for ANDAM but to give him the shot.
Exactly.
Nick obviously kicked the 1, didn't do well with it. ANDAM has an opportunity to knot up the match and to create another 12-12 match.
Well, and the way he's been breaking the balls, I haven't watched every break this rack, but last night he broke the balls, and that push virtually decided the match.
Well, that push can virtually decide the match. It hasn't yet.
Yes.
But the way the table has been breaking, the wing ball on the right side has been going in with some regularity. There's been a few times in the match when it hasn't gone in, but very few.
Right.
I don't know. I believe he tried to brush the 7 when he drew the ball back. Now he has created a problem for himself.
Well, the combination doesn't really look that tough. It's controlling the 7 and the cue ball, given that the 8's relatively close to the hole.
I think the combination is tough.
You see it slide?
And what happened was it skidded on him, actually.
Yes, I know.
He cut the 7 well enough to pocket the 8. Matter of fact, he cut it even more thin than he needed to cut it to pocket the 8.
Wow.
And it skidded on him.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, he was still able to put the 8 down and continue his way on, and eventually pocketing the 9 ties up the match at 12 games apiece.
This is why we do this, isn't it? Huh?
Okay, let's take a look at Varner in the chair quickly, Rick. I mean, he knows he made a blunder on his push, and now he's sitting there defensively, really defenseless in his chair. He's chewing that gum really, really fast now. He's really not happy with his position right now. He knows he brought it on himself. He just wants a shot, that's all. He just wants a shot.
For another chance at the table. And he doesn't matter how it is. He just wants to come back to the table.
Now Leonardo ANDAM in preparation to break the balls in the final game of the match. And once again, the corner ball goes in. The cue ball almost finding a pocket, the side pocket, but fortunately for ANDAM, it didn't.
The 2 ball was the last ball rolling. Now ANDAM gets an opportunity to push. I mean, you know, it's a judgment thing. Think he's going to challenge Nick? I don't think so.
There's only one spot to push, and that's up the upper left-hand corner.
Right.
You know, and that's the only spot on the table that he can push.
Right.
Not that he has any choices, but he really doesn't. He's forced to push up there because if he pushes anywhere else, he leaves a shot. Actually, this is where the choices come in right now. Do you accept this shot, run the risk of leaving a shot for your opponent by trying to play a snooker here, or do you pass it back to ANDAM? He's going to cross bank the one on the other side of the table, and I believe he's going to try to execute the shot where he can try to put the cue ball somewhere in the vicinity of the 9, possibly behind the 9. But there's no guarantee that he'll be able to do that. He also has the 2 and the 5 on that side of the table as possible interfering balls too. But once again, there's no guarantee that when he walks away from the table that the incoming player is not going to have a shot. So therefore, he really has a lot to be thinking about, you know. And but I believe he's going to take the shot. I believe he's going to take the shot.
He's going to play on the left side of the 1 and try to go behind the 3. Bank the 1 in the area of the 2-5.
Yeah, but that 7 ball is such a big ball.
Yeah.
You really want to try to safe up the 1 if you shoot that shot, because you really can't put all your eggs in one basket, and that basket is putting the cue ball behind the 3. So therefore, it's awfully hard for me as a player, being in the same situation as Nick is in, trying to position the cue ball behind the 3, and if I don't, I might lose. Right. So therefore, I would opt to go the other way. I don't really agree with that.
Maybe not.
I like going the other way. I like going the other way. I like trying to position the cue ball behind the 9. But regardless of which shot he accepts to shoot, both of them offer a stiff challenge and a stiff penalty.
Well, maybe
if he doesn't do well with it.
Maybe he should give it back to ANDAM.
Well, maybe he should, but he really doesn't want to walk to the table hooked himself and saying to himself, I could have had him in this position.
That's right.
So therefore, it was an excellent push in that regard.
He could put the 1 in the area of the 3 and go 2 cushions behind.
He's going to have to shoot, and here he goes. Okay, now he's put all his eggs in one basket by trying to position the cue ball behind the 3, and he didn't do it.
That's right.
Well, that's what I didn't like about that shot.
I understand that. I understand that, and that's
I'm not saying he exercised poor. I didn't say he exercised poor judgment on that shot.
Playing it off the 8, and he's not going to make it. He thought.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's quite fortunate to have another appearance back at the table, and he knows it. So I'm certainly sure he's going to make good with it, because this is where he really gets paid, and he's gotten paid so many times in this position.
1989, how many matches did he say he won? 13, 12 Hill matches that year?
I don't know. I don't know, but I know he's very proficient when it comes down to this type of a situation.
Real deal, yeah.
But that last shot that he was confronted with, that he was challenged with, I should say, was a very, very challenging shot. He was confronted with a very difficult choice. He would like to go around the 3, playing position for the 3 in the upper left-hand corner. If he has that angle, that's what he'll try to do.
He has to miss the 5.
Okay, it doesn't appear that he's gotten around, but he does have a pocket. He hit the 3 ball full enough to where the cue ball didn't escape the position of the table that it's in now, and he came up with a shot on the 3. Actually, a pretty good shot on the 3.
Yes.
This is the key shot of the rack. That's attaining the correct angle on the 5 to drop onto the 7.
Right.
If he's able to do that, the 8 and the 9 are there for the taking. But first, he has to get the angle on the 5 to drop onto the 7. Either angle will suffice. What he doesn't want to do is end up straight in.
Right. Well, if he ends up, he didn't take much time. He must be all right, or else.
Looks like he's going to draw a cross table in front of the 7, which he's done nicely. And I really can't envision anything bad happening from this point out.
No. It's been a great match. Great match. Definitely a keeper. ANDAM feels like it slipped away. He shot the 1.
Well, you know, it really wasn't that easy of a shot. In other words, it was very missable.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what even made it more missable, which is kind of like contrary to what a lot of other people may believe, is that the presence of the 8, I thought, made the shot more missable. Other people may have said, it was there as an aid, but actually it made him favor the rail side of the pocket.
Right. Meanwhile,
well, that's another match. Nick showed that he has what it takes to win matches like this, and once again, Nick Varner prevails, this time by the score of 13 games to 12 in a very exciting match.
Yes, yes. It was a great match, and I'm glad I was here to share it with you. At least the end of it, anyway.
Okay, thanks a lot for stopping up, Dave. So on behalf of Dave Maddox, this is Bill Incardona. Thanks a lot for supporting Accu-Stats. You just watched a great match, and Pat has a lot more of them in the inventory list. Give them a call and ask them about it. 1-800-828-0397.